Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the launch of Once Teeth, Bones, Coral by Kimberly Alidio by the Belladonna Collaborative. Ta-da! We are thrilled and delighted to be gathered in celebration of this unique work, which I love. This is the first reading of Belladonna's fall season, our Zoom season. And it's been exciting and challenging and a little confusing, but also really grounding to periodically be meeting in virtual space with poets in a way that is both a little tense, I think, for everybody, but also weirdly intimate in a way that I think we're still figuring out and thinking through. A little bit about Belladonna, though I'm sure most of you are familiar. We are a collaborative of feminist authors, poets, publishing exciting, strange, intergenre, experimental poetry work, now going on 20 years, which is pretty cool. If you want to learn more about us, you can visit our website, which I'll drop in the chat. Rebecca, who is our fall intern, will also be sharing information periodically about how to purchase Kimberly's book, which is on sale tonight. If everybody who registered for a ticket buys a copy of Once Teeth, Bones, Coral, we'll raise around $600 for Belladonna, which in a pandemic economy, I don't have to tell you, goes a long way towards supporting our programming, supporting our staff, and various other necessities. So let's get started because we have a packed bill and a lot of exciting work to look forward to. I'm going to be coming back in between each reader to read some bios and to introduce our readers. But aside from that, we're just going to proceed apace. If you're an audience member, I would ask that you keep yourself muted. If you're not reading at this moment, if you could just stay muted to avoid any background noise, etc. Although I'm sure we're all getting used to this Zoom etiquette. So my name's James. I weirdly never ever remember to say that when I'm introducing a reading, but I'm James Sloop. And first we're going to be hearing from Gabrielle Civil. Gabrielle is a Black feminist performance artist, poet, and writer, originally from Detroit, Michigan. She has premiered 50 performance works around the world, and her performance memoirs include Swallow the Fish, 2017, Experiments in Joy, 2019, and Ghost Gestures, forthcoming in 2021. Her poems have appeared in Bone Bouquet, Waterstone Review, and Poem a Day from the Academy of American Poets. Her translations have appeared in Dislocate, Two Lines, The Caribbean Writer, and Kitchen Table Translation. She teaches at California Institute of the Arts, and the aim of her work is to open up space. Here is Gabrielle.
Yay! I'm so excited to be here. I think before I begin, I feel like if you have access to the chat, you should just drop in a word of celebration to celebrate this extraordinary book by Kimberly Alidio. It could be congratulations, thing that comes to mind when you think about Kimberly's work, just to help us inaugurate the moment. The first thing actually I want to read is the blurb that I wrote for the back of this book. This is a book of echoing and overhearing, breath and trembling, desert and sky, woundedness and gossip, intellectual wandering, time zones, moans, unmanned cocktails, medicine, grief, and self-care. Kimberly Alidio resurfacing landscapes of queered intimacies for you to hold close. Mucus and saliva, humor and loss, a dyke bar, a rubber plant, compound words and timeless histories, intersectional identities, porous and monumental. Once teeth, bones, coral. Now slowing you down. Now filling you up. So these were my thoughts about this incredible book, and I'm so thrilled to be able to be here and be a part of its launch into the world. I'm going to read just a little from Experiments in Joy. And there's something about the porousness of Kimberly's new book that makes me think about dream space, that makes me think about the possibility of creative space. And so I'm going to read a section that comes from my notebooks, and I'm going to allow you to get a sense of what it felt like to create or to be inside this language.
She too wrote of bees.
She
Their muzzles dripping with
too
honey. You
wrote
of
of
bee, pollen,
bees.
corn. The yellow woman with corn,
Bee,
silk, tassels. You
pollen,
talked
corn.
about wanting to work in
The
a
yellow
new
woman
way,
with
wanting
corn,
to trust
silk,
poetry as a
tassels.
way of speaking.
You talked
being
about
in space.
wanting to work in
And
a
I
new
felt
way,
familiar
wanting to
there,
trust poetry as a
wanting
way
to
of
laugh,
speaking,
so afraid of
being
the
in
weight
space.
of the world.
And I felt familiar there, wanting
Both
to
of
laugh,
us thinking,
so afraid of the
how
weight
much
of the
of
world,
beautiful, terrible
of
world we could
creation.
hold.
Both of us thinking how
And
much
so what
of the
had
beautiful, terrible
I been
world
thinking
we could
about?
hold.
Reading,
And me
preparing
so
for,
scared
so scared
to be
have
bad
a
in
bad
art,
experience,
to not be
bad in
good
art,
enough,
to not be good
to
enough,
not
to be
have
too
the
tired,
lightness,
to not have the
to
lightness
not
to
make
make
it
it good,
good,
to lose myself,
to
to be lost. And
lose,
so
to
what
lose
had
myself.
I been thinking about?
So what had I been thinking about
Preparing
reading and
for
preparing for both
body,
of us thinking
no
how
body,
much
waking
of the
up,
beautiful,
erotic energy,
terrible
red
world we
kiss,
could
the
hold?
installation,
Body,
two bodies,
no
two
body,
ideas,
waking up,
the red
erotic
kiss,
energy, red
on the
kiss, the
flower, the black comb, the
installation of
honeycomb,
two
from
bodies,
emptiness
two
to
ideas,
plenitude,
the red kiss, the
building
bee on the
simultaneity,
flower, the black
absurdity
comb,
and
the
pleasure,
honeycomb, from
strand,
emptiness to
tendril,
plenitude,
comb,
building,
twist, helix,
simultaneity,
desire,
shimmer,
waking up,
absurdity and
body,
pleasure,
earth, and
honey,
waking up
path,
into
strand,
and voices
tendril,
singing,
comb,
if
twist,
need be,
helix,
or
sacred,
buzz.
desire, and waking up, body, earth, and waking up into spring, and voices singing if need be, or buzz. So that's a little bit from the Hive. There's a chapbook that's coming out called Ghost Gestures. And then I have another work called The Deja Vu that's coming out. And I wanted to just read you a little bit from that, and specifically a section from a performance chronicle called Wild Beauty. Because when I think about Kimberly's gorgeous new book, I think about wild beauty. And this wild beauty is connected to a performance ritual that I created with 3 other Black movers, performers, dancers in celebration of MLK Day. And what we were trying to do was channel and manifest Black space, Black time, Black dreams. So here's a little of that. I want to throw roses. I want to break open and eat a watermelon on stage. I want to break into red, sweet fruit, meat, fruit, flesh. It's already sticky. I want it to be sweet. I have mixed feelings about messiness. I need to make a mess. I need to not be afraid of making a mess. And I don't want to waste it. Our time is precious. My time is material. My time is a portal. My time is this watermelon. What happens when you take this watermelon? What if this is the time for new fruit and flowers? What happens if we take our time? Gabrielle says, things, tumbling from dreams, arrow, 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 arrow. I want to make a bed in the space. I want to rest and dream in real time. I want footage of MLK unfurling. I have a dream behind this bed. I want this to turn into a dance. I want a slow dance to Dinah Washington. What a difference a day makes. I want everyone to slow dance with me. I want everyone to want to slow dance with me. I want everyone to want to slow dance with each other. I want everyone to slow dance with everyone in the world. I want to dance slow in the world and be held in slow bodies. I want people to cut in, cut up, and cut out. Allow rest. Bring flowers. Text message thread. January 21st, 2020. And look at that. That was like a world away now. Wow. But it was just actually not that many months. Text message thread. Tuesday, January 21st, 11:04 a.m. To Fox from Gabrielle. I'm at the airport about to board. We'll write about wild beauty on the plane, and maybe we'll do a ritual at home to close the portal. Before I do, I want to ask you about my bed solo. Before I went to bed, I felt so broken open and gaping and kind of failed, exposed, augmented, very 5 of stones. What did you see? What happened? Sending you so much love, admiration, and thanks. Emoji of black hands and prayer. To Gabrielle from Fox. It was a beautiful solo. It started with love, with a friend on the bed, unison arm and leg movements and closeness, and then they left you. It seemed an unexpected departure, but still, you grew into luxurious arm movements and lines of leg extensions that eventually connected you. Little by little, you tested the waters and then disappeared for a moment, caught up in a tangle of bed sheets and blankets. Then, precariously, even though you were encumbered and caught up, you rose up to stand, dancing through the tangle. Then you ventured out into the sea of people, seeing the people, turning and sensing different sensations in your body, echoing our own hearts and heads with your torso and neck movements, balancing on one leg at times, never losing track that you were part of the group, but also in a different time. Then suddenly you were the ancestors in a forest, wrapped up against the harsh wind, and then you were the priestess card, and then you were in between worlds like a ghost, and Angie's blanket melding back down to the floor, spine undulating as you became connected to the ground, again crawling, traveling away from us to another realm. To Fox from Gabrielle. Thank you so much for this. Thank you for all the care and reassurance you offered me in Wild Beauty. Please let me know if I can offer you anything now in the future. Emojis of black hands vibrating, red flower, green fairy in flight, black hands pressed in prayer. Thank you so much, and congratulations again to you, Kimberly.
Thank you very much, Gabrielle. Next, we're going to hear from Krystal Languell, who is a Belladonna veteran. Krystal lives in Chicago, where she works for the Poetry Foundation. She is also a publisher, an editor, and the author of 3 books of poetry. She holds a BA from Indiana University and an MFA from New Mexico State University. Please welcome Krystal.
Hey, as you can see, I'm experimenting. sun has gone down a little bit more, so it's different this time. First, congratulations to Kimberly. It was such a pleasure to work on this book with you. It was easy. It was enjoyable. I had the privilege and the luck to meet up with Kimberly and Stacy in Tucson in January. So their January is again to plan this project in person together. And I think that was my last elective trip. So I couldn't be happier. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. I will get to my business. I am now holding up a copy of the book just to be sure that I've complied. I'll do it again later when I turn off my fun background, which just for trivia's sake, I did go on a very short elective trip where I took this photo. My spouse and I wound up at a haunted house that was closed due to COVID, and this was one of their signs on the ground. This is a poem called Beat It, No One Wants to Be Defeated. It's not the only way. The dead can count your hair's mistakes, the seedy rooms in which you broke your own red bowl of feeble hearts, adjustment coils around consecutive experienced fringe jazz musicians in unbearable and icy wind through which they must perform. The pilot vexed enough, she calls their mothers back. On stable soil, the feeling wavers, you know how. And then my gritty leather death event goes all kaput. I want to suck your blood, I know. By other means, we let your instrument begin to rot and fade, to atrophy, its muscles chewed by weaker teeth than these. This is called How Will I Know? Don't Trust Your Feelings. Your wetness drags the spiral discharge down to join at points a budding drive chain fuel. The work itself throws sparks, a fuss goes on like mice in fields. So how does training clog when bells make calls to prayer? Assembly herds your mostly clutch old comrades into flu-soaked pity bases. Solve that riddle once alone, an endless overshare, a wit of cystic sac to lure the tailor home. They always rampage Sunday mornings clear to midnight blue. A patch and needle hang beside your private cache of market stakes. A purple lip bursts bloody near the pros whose pills cut power take the phones offline. And the rest of what I will read is from an endless poem excerpted today called Avalanche Threat that I've been working on in 2020. Banana bread, amateur hour, rattlesnake suitcase, forecasting, high of -2 degrees. A camper parked, open burn permit, never enough. Speed queen, sell the kids for food, pretty pimping, snow day, doing life, use this time, burn pit schematics, taking pains. Universal remote, floral duster, is the river dry? The coup attempt, Bridgegate Brigade, 0, Peridot, water tower, ya ding dong. Gild the lily, ad hoc Red Bull, the de facto scene, pushing a scooter, your concept of labor, singularity of purpose, messed up depth, souped up tub, plant swap, permanent vacation, adult acne, side effect, factory problems, more real than sun, water taxi, bad luck me. Out to sea, tiered rejection, not a fit, galaxy brain, SOS relation, corn, salsa, moon, whale watch, blood in the salad bar. A nice job. The beat was missed. I'm smiling. I can't relate. Flash, finch, flood, middle branch, river reversal, a sluice. More of the same. Large moo latte, barrel chair, sewer rat, Cape Cod bitch, new content, some new information. Farewell, Aquarius. The real bottom, an actual barrel. Management is bad. Church on a hill. A New England, 420 High Street, crop, twin progress, wheat and corn. Who would believe America matters? Motel on fire, needs work, capital. Get into business, get into vice. Air raid, siren test, a factory away. No one knows me, not enough pride for funerals, nor dignity for obits, runoff, downstate, sweat equity, leadership vacuum, summer of. Mallard capital of the world, is this the impulse or is this the correction? An overcorrection? I forget the word flower pot. I can't relax. Think like a lake. Think like a grape, which is to say, alone. Same, a gentleman's agreement, expletive in the wake, a word count limit, a messy excuse. Who made you do it? A bad read, pox and red spots, rashes and razor burn, blemishes to disguise. You think you're tired? Grandma lights her cigarette off the stove, says, so what? Carpenter ants, truth hurts. Somewhere else, New Amsterdam, fuck California, rows and rows, clipped tongue of the dead, surfs up, cool dude, stupid asshole, big weirdo, look forward, crack open, coyote in the cemetery, take the cake. Apologies without insurance work, beaches remain closed, slow numbers, no one imagines, chain link, dirty doctor, drug deal. Piss Christ, heirloom loss, hey Cupid, do not rush job, weeping tile, I'm a maniac, can't shut up, now you know. Handmade meetup, fennel cloud, feed dogs in my dotage, a slow boat, handy, nasty, depreciation cycle, rogue, national park, versatile mouse, overhyped crop circle, a leaky faucet, missed opportunities. I forget the word fleece. You fled the city under no threat at all. I say felt instead. Sincerity, play, overnight parking, keyed up, weeds in the lot, paint thinner. Get a hammer, use a shovel, hit him until he stops. Needle minder, nausea on the bus, nobody wasting nobody. Glass, 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 a private ride, hardly been sat in, bad cop, worse cop, spousal hire. One weird trick, barnstorming, Dumbledore Powerball in your grocer's freezer, billing cycle, watch your ass, crypt keeper. I'll just read one more poem, I believe. The poem is called Choreography for Young Clowns. A misreading, dull as a retold dream, and a thinly veiled threat, walk into a bar. Embedded sinner chugs and toots against farmhouse theme decor. Let root death make teachable how some stamens touch drastically. The threat makes good, treats the mistake to a cordial bowl of cherry corncob pipes. Look, hun, we've entered the wrong room. The most natural thing in the world. Cloud of fluster and sour chords signals doomsday. We are to jump, and who'd argue? Class begins, and first the gift horse speaks, the prim little baker concerned about dough. Chthonic figures circulating disorder with duck, limestone, almanac flung beside bare teeth. Exposure's tiresome, so the trundling wheeler reads back into the chapter before this shitstorm. Discreetly, the woman flips the man over, powers him off, and back on again. Thanks, and congratulations, Kimberly.
I have to unmute myself. I feel like I must applause because you can hear my applause as opposed to everybody else. Thank you so much, Krystal. That was great. Farewell, Aquarius. I'm having a wonderful time. I hope we all are. Let's continue. Oh, I should say also that this is being recorded. It will live on our Pen Sound page and also on our YouTube channel for posterity. If you have friends that can't make it, etc., you can let them know that. Up next is Cheena Marie Lowe. Born in Manapla, Philippines, Cheena Marie Lowe is a poet and editor currently based in Western Massachusetts. They are the author of a series of unnatural disasters from Commune Editions in 2016, and the chapbooks No Filter, Aggregate Space 2014, and Ephemera and Atmospheres, which is a Belladonna chaplet from 2014, which you can buy on our website. Let me turn it over to Cheena.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, James, and everybody at Belladonna, and thank you, Gabrielle and Krystal, for those wonderful readings, and especially thank you to Kimberly. It's a thrill to read with you all in celebration of this book, which I love, and I'm so happy it's here, and I'm very excited to hear from you, to hear you read from it tonight. I'm going to read from a very slowly evolving work in progress that is a lipogram that's a little bit about a loss and mostly about kinship. And I'm calling it Punctum for now. A rupture prompted by a violence of nature, then low-level hum of lack keening quietly, no being, not now, nor before, only unfolding, a horizon, then and there, an infinite future, and yet no plurality, no multiplicity, fumbling around a new world, mouth around language with inadequate potential, edit, find, and replace, null addition, 0 of 0. You are hungry now. I've got a hungry eye, a hungry heart. They are hungry for you. Hungry, hungry again. I've been hungry way down in my heart. We're hungry for a life we can't afford. I'm told they were very hungry. The animal, I mean. I think they meant it probably happened quickly. It probably could have happened to anyone. Hungry for a life without cruelty. Who will care if I'm hungry? We're all hungry. A rare encounter, I'm told. Hungry hippo, hungry Lucy, hungry baby, hungry face. Funny face, I love you. Hungry for love, for more, for heaven, for you. like a wolf, etc., etc. A telephone talked about a lion and forced intimacy with prey. After the accident, I heard my own voice, loud and flat and frightened, long after the impact. I can't get rid of the feeling of imminent dread, impending doom, one paw in the belly wound. It probably could happen to anyone. I forgot the feeling of familiarity, immediate activated relation, of not having to explain to another in particular, hi, hello, how are you? What do you do? For money, for fun? What do you actually love? What are you making? How did you get here? Were you very afraid? Are you hungry? What do you want to eat? What do you believe in? Tell me about your life. Tell me about your family. How do you define family anyway? I am compelled by your practice. Do you want to tell me about it? Do you want to hear about mine? I'm out of practice, extending in hope of an equivalent reach, a deep dive, moving beyond the approximate peripheral, trying to catch that ephemeral thing, ephemeral affinity, ephemeral connection, ephemeral orientation, ephemeral orange fading into pink, fading into purple in the firmament behind my head and your head. Take a picture of it. Ephemeral moment in the karaoke room, late night ephemeral, ephemeral wave from the other end of the dance floor, a rare ephemeral encounter, fleeting finger tracing along my back. I'm glad you are here. Texture and warmth, moving umbrage collected in the above time, cutting the calm, cool comfort of conditioned room. Make legible a warning in writing, above, not before, later than, next in time or place, the indefinite now. There doesn't appear to be anything here. A point on a plane, again haunted by a particularity of relation. Wonder where we meant to be. Wonder what they were thinking about when it happened. Wonder with excruciating detail. Wonder everything terrible. Wonder with a kind of exuberance, and wonder how to burn it all down, and then wonder how it would feel to begin again. Punctum of my love, tending to a weed, turning into a wildflower, overwintering under fatty crayon finger. Incitement of aggregated material, planted rather than the literal touch. All the wintering in balmy, dried cleft, different than the other one, hungry and thinking about dinner, upon waking, a trumpet, heavy woolen blanket, lay it on thick. I appreciate being privy to flailing pure elation down the hallway. How do you know you've made a good choice? How do you know you could have made a better choice? Don't worry, baby, in the living room, a patterned affect, tiny archipelago, waving a wave. I devour the flower in bloom. Did you feel that? Thank you. And congratulations, Kimberly.
So much, Cheena. That was lovely. It made me miss you all. I mean, I don't know some of you at all. Some of you I know somewhat, but the idea of being in a room together right now sounds really nice. Nevertheless. Next is Anne Waldman. Poet, performer, professor, literary curator, cultural activist, Anne Waldman has been a prolific and active poet and performer many years, creating radical new hybrid forms for the long poem, both serial and narrative, as with Marriage, a Sentence, Structure of the World Compared to a Bubble, and Manatee Humanity, and Gossamer, all published by Penguin Poets. She is the author of the magnum opus, the Jovis Trilogy, Colors in the Mechanism of Concealment, a feminist cultural intervention taking on war and patriarchy, which won the Penn Center 2012 Award for Poetry. Recent books include Voices, Daughter of a Heart Yet to be Born from Coffee House, and Trickster Feminism from Penguin. She has also been a recipient of the Shelley Award for Poetry, a Guggenheim Fellowship, and the Elizabeth Cray Award from Poets House NYC in 2019. Forthcoming books include Bard, Kinetic from Coffee House in 2021, and Mesopotamia from Penguin in 2022. Please welcome Anne. I think you're muted, Anne. Let's see. There you go.
Okay, thank you so much. And congratulations, Kimberly. My screen is sort of, let's unmute myself. I'm okay now, right? Okay. Wonderful readings, beautiful readings, all of you. So just gorgeous, very special on this equinoctial day. Hard day for the world, but great day for poetry today. So yes, this beautiful book, and just a couple of lines from a response I wrote. Plots, struggles like shooting stars. Let's pay where losing light is a movie script. Arroyo, only retro dark pull is a creation and destruction myth. Blood iron is a force field. Follow the recombinant runes forming new constellations to meet an uncertain languaging future. It's a wild ride. So thank you for this. And thank you, Belladonna, always. I'm going to read from this project called the Talisman. We're working with this Persian Talisman Forum, working with some other friends in a seminar that started looking at these things. And this is called, I wanted to tell you about my meditations on Jupiter. Not all celestial bodies revolve around the earth. Grasping at fragments, I want to tell you at the distanced about the recital and its amplification. I thought unicum in the varying versions, urgent meditations on Jupiter, my remotest wandering, its chilly motion, ice and patterns, striations seem to be models of tissue and imprint, solitude, solicitudes. In Persian, it might be a sign of geomancy. What is the sand you imagine trapped in your echo chamber? A telescope of no small size, a clepsydra of wondrous watery proportion, the greatest clock of tidal universe. What can you know? Recital as a dispatch, as a way signaling a spin. This is a meditation on time made of glass. When the electricity stops, the clocks go off on their own, those not surveilled, switched calendars. In the new technology, they will place an owl in your classroom. They will keep track of your study, your payments, your assignments. Are you on time for class? In an alienated classroom, the talismans of your own mind. And you feel split in time. You feel your head dizzying as your eyes land on the handmade machine of words, repeating forms from Dante's Inferno, perhaps dancing in a circle of left hand turns, tuning up on the day of reckoning as you ascend. I love the syncretic. I want everything to pile up in solitude, counting backwards. The time you thought you were on, then there were paused interventions all through your life, ventricles. I need advantage and ventilators. I need vehicles, as in the lesser and greater vehicles of Dharma. The recital of Hai Ibn Yaqzan was written during his detention in the fortress of Fardahan. The narrator or author, Ibn Sina, speaks of time when his soul was at home and could go out to the familiar, but finding places that lay hidden in his own city. Captivity in a cosmic crypt, a dark pit in which also the pilgrim of the recital of Occidental exile is stuck, an inward escape, call it. Solitude summons Yaksan's version, his vision waiting for the invitation to leave the prison whose jailers know not they are themselves captives. What is imprint in a brain, symbols, allegories? What can we learn of carceral in a book? A day in the can when you want plutonium off your front range, when you want to control the narrative of toxins in land, in water, the cellular throb and breath of toxins, and you protest all day, all months, all thousands of years. Deformed sheep born at dawn, an eye missing in a dispatch. The grasp is echoing through time here in capsule. Study the surfaces of sand in an age that crumbles like sand. Count the eyes on potatoes. Study a field chart of matres or mothers. Write a book that opens to the sky. Conjure Hermes Trismegistus, who witnessed the angel Jibril in a dream. My chambers are like cubicles in the library, the shelves swaying as in an hallucination. I had to leave that all behind. I still hold a key to a research room and pray they will let me in again, study scripture, the rise and fall of everything, and the age of reason again. Not a philosopher, I am reluctant to let loose with poetical intuitions, but they are all of the above, what I have admitted here into this cavity. How to be urgent at remote control, shake a dying body awake for an instant, happy recognition for an instant, mysteriously guided to text that fluctuates in the mind, comes and goes, lost the little pencil for my requests. They arrive as if telepathically, fragments, as I've said, on the nature of prediction. There is none arising. The crystal mirror is cloudy. Watching the child on the small screen, she is learning K. She is writing K the first time. I think of Hagia Sophia, that elder library where it is recorded, this kind of memory. The first K of knowledge. Her name is Cora. These were the categories of her studying. Wandering, roaming days of cold light. Mind not caught yet by the death clouds. Breath of death, breath of life, impelling days. Mind in the heavens with distant moons. Enceladus, her oceans hidden under icy crust. Lift the curtain, you may see the future of water. Crisis, jeopardy, propulsion and scrying, hazards, restless, brutal patrols, corner of a watery eye, keening. Io, Europa, Ganymede, Callisto as top moons for the dark time. Oral tradition told the future that this was ancestral transmission, how to be alone with the 4 rotations, how not to go mad. I thought her thrill of discovery, child's first instinct, she'd be in this looking up, but we are not awaiting Martial and Martian travel. We notice patterns of solar systems. What is identity in this naming? Make a list lifting the supermoons out of a host of 70. Yes, 70, or is it 79 now? Moons, the counting of so many. Volcanoes and snowfields of Io, a moon of fire and ice. Colors would show red, orange, yellow, black, white. Smallest of Galileans, then Europa in circles with cracks and fissure that would haunt your notebooks. 20 to 180 million years old, a young face, Ganymede, highly cratered, and light grooved terrain across the face. Callisto, probably unchanged since its formation. How could you ever guess? Out of the radar of Jupiter's magnetic field, beyond Jupiter's radiation belt, untethered, more to study Earth, Moon, a year in your life. Reflectivity, that's the dispatch here. Perhaps oceans beneath the surface could flourish with life. A wandering mendicant in my heart, and this was wanted to say to you, mendicants, mendicants, mendicants coming after, crying for all the others in plague to know truth of suffering, could be signaling the end of entire civilizations, but you go studying the plague of Cyprian, the plague that ended serfdom, the plague of London, shortest in a year, only 100,000 dead. Think with me now on all the friends, all the last rites for those afflicted, AIDS, like the strike of a large gong. Gong, as you say it, AIDS, the fallen. Solipsism is my instrument for seeing. We keep thinking about the future. This fluctuating, uncertain magic is apocalyptic by nature. And we are forgetting our rituals, our Jupiter glowing out there right now, sitting here. It's 3:18 in mountain time. Look out my hatch on the sky, an ingenious bubble of shelter. See the comet glide across your wounded galaxies because you have a mind to project that heartbroken song. Evidently, celestial physics and astronomy define the soul's itinerary like a comet. If you want to greet it that way, with an angel as a guide, escape right now. Traces are discernible in the recital of Hai Ibn Yaqzan, realizing a kind of transmutation where there is interiorization of the cosmos, emergence, as is said, from the cosmic crypt. The recital is imploding in on itself. What is the data? An enveloping sphere to save phenomena, a body's motion considered in longitude and latitude, swiftness and slowness, proximity and distance from the earth, here, us again. We think like that, our earth. I keep saying distanced, us as homocentric to the center of the earth. 7 spheres, and then there was the 8th, enveloped, and the whole was the sphere of the fixed stars. Would that be absolute? Why would anyone want that? But the moderns, followers of Ptolemy, added a 9th, a starless sphere, communicating that the astronomer must try to solve the notion of an unmoving earth. What will we continue to know when science leaves us stuttering? Turn off the light, enter that little cavity, find a corner, a movie theater, unsafe in 2020 and 2021 and 2022, 2023, 2025, 2060, 2090. How long is your plague? Is it really so dark, stuck inside, or out? Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. Amazing. Oh, that list of years. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Kimberly. I did prepare a short introduction. I gave myself 2 minutes, which I will now read. The poems of once teeth bones coral insistently inhabit a profuse mineral register, where words of origins far-flung or close to hand recline, agglutinate, rest, quarrel, and play. They are not on the clock. They are not at work or in service, but hum, and nurtured by their author, Their situator, gardener, docent, investigator, poet, with care, time, and space, they reveal their elemental, historical, expressive radii as an integrated living substance. They drip at semi-regular intervals with room for grace notes, like rain into a bucket, until they don't anymore. Excuse me. Expressing in this a lesson from nature, that the small human view of chaos often masks a rigor, that whims too are laws. Look how when given the space, English words reveal un-English origins, distinct journeys. Who brought you over, schadenfreude, oxytocin, yam? To what end? Syntax, we recall, reading once teeth, bones, coral, is the technique by which English naturalizes its plunder, eats its own history up, forsakes the wisdom in acknowledging the present as a patois of future and past. To refuse its pinched inheritances is to ask if words, while free to fuse, were not authoritatively yoked one to another, but permitted to exist in ambient proliferative relation. If the line were not relentlessly plowed, but broke, skipped, scuttled, dipped, and cascaded toward its provisional attunement. If meaning were not extracted, but occurred, how would we live then? Kimberly Alidio is the author of Once Teeth, Bones, Coral, Why Letter Ellipsis from Selva Oscura, forthcoming in December 2020, and After Projects The Resound from Black Radish 2016, and A Cell of Falls from Portable Press at Yo-Yo Labs 2019. She's a tenure-track dropout, PhD in history, ex-high school teacher, and MFA poetry candidate at the University of Arizona. And she lives in Tucson with her partner, the poet Stacy Smazik. Please join me in welcoming Kimberly.
Thank you so much. All right, this is like crazy good. Let's just like take a moment. Thank you so much to all the readers. It's just crazy good. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna run out of the room, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna ride this beauty here. Thank you so much, James, for organizing all of this, for everything that you've said. And I have so many people to thank, but all of you who are here. And I want to start off with Belladonna, and I have a little bit of an anecdote. So I was spent all 4 weeks, when it was 4 weeks, at summer writing program at Naropa in 2011. Thank you, Anne. And that's when I got immersed into Belladonna. And then I remember I turned to Tisa Bryant and I said, so how does one get a book from Belladonna? And I think I tell this story not just to say, hey, my dreams came true. I mean, they have, but also just how much of this sticky hive that Belladonna is, that brings so much of us together. And so I have to, thank you, James and Alma and Zoe and Ariel, and to Anne and Cheena and Gabrielle who supported this, to HR, to Julie Tolentino who gave the cover image, and most of all to Krystal, who just really changed my life. So I'm happy to launch this book into virtual space on the equinox, which is all the transitional times of that. And thank you for all being here. I just also say that all the people who are here, I may not know all of you very well, but so many of you have really kind of supported my path to being a poet and to write this book in ways that you may not know. So thank you for being here. So I'm going to read one of the poems, Pours Pour. And the funny thing is that there is a part in this poem that describes a poetry reading. So it's very meta. And there's a short note. The abstraction of my book is quite a miracle to me. And then I realized this is my first time reading it. I'm never really going to be sure how to read this book. So hopefully the generosity of the open text will be matched by, I know it will be matched by your open ears. So I thank you ahead of time for your ears. Pores pour. Interest, nap, wire, tangle, afterlife, dredge, water, weeping mud. Intersection, joint, syntax, spine, satellite, base, dry, eon, sleep, ash, juniper, drought. Sound, steep, feral, slouching air, wet, memory. Possession, walk, fields, sky, dissident manner, matter. Expanse, plain, prairie, exhale, light. Yank, t-shirt, scenic, parking lot. See the moon, beautiful, no? Luminously expand, mirror faces. Blue hoodie, disappear, possibility. May not be margin of error. Shines, light ordinance, night darkness, instruments, fuse, sensuality. No. Moon transact, stockpile, habitus, habits. Trust, mystery alive, cocoon courting. Wall, small bone, score, touch, gravity. Grief, puncture, mildew, headache, arrive. Spouse, scrim. Sky, curve, open, antimatter, dense, whistle. Entire day, good night, glad you're here, good night. Thank you, lovely day, good night. Thank you, another lovely day, good night. Thank you for snoring. Let demons sleep, you interlude. Wake up, 8, dogs, coffee, breakfast. Clean, walk, lunch, nap, dinner, clean. Smoke, dogs, play, record, chat, bed. Cocoons, infatuation. Listen, puzzle, marimba. Drinking, second, third. Flora, fauna, dying. Hear emotional privacy, words. Dip halves, chickens into oil. Plunge, frying kettle, stove. Dump pan, rolls onto a wire rack, parsley tucked gaily over an ear. Busily plate rolls, help yourself to celery, radishes piled up on Krystal. Never mind the dishes, wait on the table. I am promoted? Carefully place plate, glass, cup in front of me. I am childlike. Try violent grammar, protect kin. Open up interiors, refuse seeding them, remove stimuli, expose nerve ends, parade masculine surplus value, flirt, repository gravities, far away absorption, pixelate, care, stripping, concise, unfeminine, sibilant. Siphon, ferocious cloud, dread, final ebb. Feather, indent, soft groove. Dirt, small animal. Circumvent, pallid line. Shit, pond. Shit, yard. Back. Shit, eat. Shit, nest. Rueful grin comes handy. Safe maneuver. Purposeful, refusal, clarity. Instigate, opacity. Expiration, obscure end. Tunnel, inevitable, intermittent loss. Unclaimed universe, inky field. Without facial tick, I am no stimulus. Hands hold, floats, wears ring, caresses, lists, ingredients. Earnest belief, slender pinky, pretty nail, unruly. Sleep, walk, tempo, kitchens, veranda, words, departure, arise atonal, durational, buttoned, wrist, heart, tick, tick, extending. Hand falls exact measure, ambient waves, turmeric return. Forget rewinds left index finger, halo, recall fist, eyes squeezed. Dream, recount, sways hand, flowers, shoulder roll, circle, thumb index finger, precise crooked smile. Propelling diaphragm depth, hear body's vibration chest, nape swirls follicular ears, coming, right eye, tickled, sinus, tags, wrong ending. Say, watch, horn, sound. Trees whisper, brethren, transfer, arrive upstream. Throat, tiniest house, horizon heavy. Counterpoint imprints, lament, eating sweet. Unbind, hear, sense, summons, ease, center. Mistaken planet, bright queries, track, mild, silent, profane prayer. Obliterate, binary, estranged life. Born, purple, ranging, utilitarian emojis. Usual tricks, calm, straight razor, wrist. Love, objects, yes, renewal, sake. Train, secret, public mistake. Adrenaline, edge, reckless, abandon of abandon, miasma. Super new moon, libation, fevers, frothing mineral muck. Finite sky pours, pour, May. Luminous, familiar, peels, twin-likeness. Loom, tenderness, cake. Weep, tau, light. Love, squares, hell. Cassie strains Moscato, cheesecloth, remembers broke bottle. Room, sensitive threshold, dog, slipper, click clack. Echo drawn, shades, folds, sun chair, query, tongue. Verse, long limbed, encirclement, hold, thigh, elbow, finger, wide berth. Attention, beauty, find mouth, known landscape. Farewell, occasion, composes flushed, open-mouthed, very still. Elsewhere dream unfolds right eye, left, transmits machine. Proprioceptive gradients, frame, animal, blue, inflected. Held, touched bodies, stripped, mousing statue. Swerve, gentle knife, skirts, scar, milk. Retina floats, light, light gravitates. Ghost, left temple, leans peripheral. Four-legged forecast, riverine, low country, awash, clean offering. Orange chair, round, stained, born, veil, eyes. Dog, man, shoulder, bicycles, formal, dusk. Flash V, greeny blue, bar window, androgynous, leftover, cheese. Interlude, sunken nests, mason jars, grainy, bubbles, pop, jack-off songs. Oh, virtuosic bird. Water half filled, honeybee, follow, fish, orange, root lull. Hail getaway, long hum, loops, kin, choral, drum. I'm going to try to read from one other long poem from my next book, Y-letter ellipses, that's what it's called, to close us out. Thinghood circulation. Text texted, I miss you, dressed, no shower, hand-washed underwear next to clean dishes. Noted the week's Astro, met some online training requirement on info security, finished ARC, glanced at Ceylon, ate broccoli cheese tacos, changed into a captain. Departed from chance dada, defaulted accounts, menaced objection. Spirit reduced to instrument, trauma, just a formal technique as ableist as intention to make a book pretty face. Autonomous principle, listen, initiates, configure, what trace now, mark now, what state, offer, how are you? Akila Oliver did investigate, which is different than document, remember and forget. Ricoeur said testimony becomes a document under interrogation of an historian trained in dumb alchemy. Restage the encounter of a single consciousness with text. Come on in, hesitation, delay, funny and vital, runaway, whatever soma tracks. I'm afraid I'll never get married happily. Did you come to the motherland to eat girls? Is a boy's stomach as deep as a jungle? Did you keep your sumptuary limit in the promised land? Do you know how dangerous you are? How safe you could be? Why not first lick of law? A practice marriage? Any autoeroticism at the edge of upward modernity? Is society just a hold on your junk? Boom, installation in split screen with the US Pledge of Citizenship as subtext for patriotic oath, which is more effective. Over there, women control one another on behalf of men, no sense of their desires once they are, as expected, repress so as to appear reserved and docile, don't take romantic attention personally. Maybe someone young and intelligent to spend 1 to 2 years in US, become Americanized, then return home to build an American bungalow at the edge of town, have 2 to 3 children only and kiss in public, someone to make over. They would say, complaining, we don't know her family and can't talk with her. Daily reminder, reverse colonization isn't a thing. Her ways are not ours. She's American and wife only secondarily. Non-believer cannot abide orthodox shapes of the body, codes of silence, suspension of impermanence, and consciousness of such. Can soft mother protect us in the open? Will she terrify into a demon, order us to remember, return us against our will to our assigned time and space? Stateless correspondence and incompetent under care, average intelligence, a life of apolitical smallness, so confident in its importance to history, it unlocks secrets of power. Connected, causal, linear, morally ambiguous as to serve dominant interests. Habit of appearing as though we don't notice much of what we do see. The state is in bowling leagues and grandpa things. Another thing, the bedsheet between us and the past has glory holes. Archive is a jail one is taken in harsh absorption into mass penitence, into a properly reflexive moment that directly ties memory and self-presence in the pain of the aporia. Never out. Graph begets forget. When things said tip from the oral field. Quest after us always extra. Our ear, psyche, our body, historical conditions. Field glyphs, open code. Material illogics, power, polymath, autodidact, erotics, otherworldly autonomy. Kusama's bind, countering fascist art making. National traditions, foreign currency earnings for weapons, with precise attention to the peony, and O'Keeffe's address via the US Info Service for the global art cult. She kept creating uninteresting paintings, almost devoid of tonality. Her resistance, the damnable city, New York. Moving forward with creaking noises, American pragmatism. One could lose the phallic panorama in her compulsive repetition of dicks and confirm one's actual existence, undone by the global conspiracy of total periphery. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kimberly. Amazing. What a wonderful evening with you all. Very special. I suppose we have to go now. I should remind you that Kimberly's book is for sale. I'll leave the sale up for the rest of the night, probably till tomorrow morning, for $14. If you go get yourself a copy, buy a subscription. I very graciously implore you, if you're in a position to give a gift of any size to Belladonna, now is a time when it really would make a big difference to us. If you like what happened tonight, it will allow us to continue to facilitate that happening. And Kimberly, I believe you have a reading this weekend, right? The SPD reading, is that right?
Yes, I'm third piece. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm reading the third piece with Sophia Dolan and Charlie Shields for SPD and Mose on Friday.
Cool.
So, thank you so much. I love you, Belladonna. Thank you everyone.
Yeah, thanks a lot, everyone. Very special evening.